Let's begin. Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Esmond.
Good afternoon. Good to see everybody here in Zoomland in North Miami Beach. I know today is an exciting day for some and for others. I know it's an exciting day for Commissioner Smuckler, who is celebrating the 21st anniversary of a birthday. So whatever birthday that is the 21st anniversary of that birthday. And we wish her a happy birthday and hope the day goes well. I see we've also got our mayor, Antony Defillippo, on the call. Mayor, how you doing? Welcome to Zoomland. And I think those are two of the elected officials, the mayor and Commissioner Smuckler, that are online. But we also have an exciting person, a dear person to our city, Mr. Matt Gentry, who is the owner, operator, and correct me if I'm wrong, for Outback Steakhouse. And in this time period, we have had several the outpouring of love for NMB and for its community from different entities. But you know something, someone has been there at the start and has always been there helping our community is Outback Steakhouse. And the support and the giving has been constant. I mean, tomorrow, for example, I know there are 100 meals coming to our police department. They don't ever invite me over, Matt. I just hear about these good things, but that's probably how good things are. Good things are best left unsaid. So welcome to Zoomland. It's your first time. You can say North Miami Beach brought you into Zoomland. But just tell us a little bit about you, Matt, your operation, just this tendency to give, of which we're very appreciative. You've been, just tell us a little bit about you and just this penchant for giving.
Well, thank you, Esmond, and I really appreciate the invitation from all of you over there. And Mr. Mayor, hello, and all the commissioners and everybody. Not enough is said about the public service that you guys do, and we truly appreciate it. Those of us who own and operate businesses in the community, we depend on you. And North Miami Beach has always, in my 5 years of doing business in the city, has always acted responsibly and reacted rapidly and quickly. I have always received the support I've needed. I could not thank you and the mayor and the entire team over there more. So thank you very much. I'm actually born and raised in Miami, Florida, down south in the Kendall area. I've been with Outback Steakhouse for 17 years, and they've never given me a reason to want to work anywhere else. It's a phenomenal company to work for. I've been running this location here in North Miami Beach for almost 5 years. July will be my 5th year here. Just when you said giving back, to me, it's all about who you are. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they really don't understand what it really means, the feeling that it is to be a part of something bigger than yourself. Because they've never experienced it. And once you do experience that and you realize how much power there is in connecting with people and being a part of a community and just doing everything you possibly can every day that's within your power to take care of people. Once you taste that and you really understand what that truly means, you're addicted, man. And you just don't want to stop. You're always looking for the next opportunity to be a part of that. And that's just the way I was raised. My parents, I'm very, very blessed. I have a wonderful family, and I was raised right, and they taught me from a very early age that it's not about you. It's never just about you. You are right. One part of a bigger thing always. And as long as you remember that in everything you do, you're just going to be successful. And success comes in so many ways. It's not just about money, Right now, nobody in my industry is making money. We're not making money, but we're doing it every day because we know how valuable and important it is for the community to feel our presence, to know that we're here, we're gonna be here, and we provide comfort. People still want to get that that great steak with the flavors they crave. They want to get it at home. They don't want to cook every day. They still want that feeling of being able to get something delivered or go and pick up something. And we're here, and we're going to do it every single day, and keep working through this together.
Great. And it's a good thing. I mean, we've been having these conversations all along, because we have folks who are actually not making that money, but who sees the necessity of giving in this time period. So that rings home to us a lot. Let me just recognize Commissioner Smith was joined us on the Zoom call as well. I'd like to just follow up a little bit with I know that you've been there at the health fair giving back to us. You've just been constant. So it's not a matter that you're in a time period now when things may be slowing down. Even when things were hectic, you were still reaching out and giving to the city. And we're quite thankful of that. I wanted to ask you, how is it going specifically right now in this COVID-19 environment? How is it going specifically for Outback? Well, because you're a name. You have a name.
Yes, you're absolutely right. It is such a huge deal. We knew this was coming, early on. We saw it, and being in our industry, especially, we knew the implications and the impact that this was going to have. So we started preparing early. And before I tell you specifically what we're doing at my store, let me tell you, Bloomin' Brands, the parent company for Outback, that's Carrabba's, Bonefish Grill, Fleming's Prime Steakhouse, and Outback Steakhouse, has just acted phenomenally from the beginning, taking care of people. We have a lot of people that aren't working right now. They're home. Outback is taking care of them. They're receiving relief pay. We intend to get everybody back to work, and so, I've heard a lot of just really heartbreaking stories out there of people that have been just laid off and there's no hope. And that's not at Outback. Our people, we're taking care of them. As far as the impact, the direct, immediately you see a traffic decline because, people are afraid. People are nervous. They don't know what to expect when they go out right now. And so we knew that we created a plan. We knew that there was going to be necessary steps we'd have to take in order to help put people at ease. The first thing we did was retrain everyone. Everyone went through retraining, food safety and sanitation. That was step one. All right, refresh all of our training on that. It's always been top of our mind in our industry, but now more than ever, it was important. So that was the first thing we did. The second is, we gotta just do those wellness checks every day, making sure nobody's coming in sick. Even a cough or a sneeze. Hey, let's get that checked out. Let's make sure you're okay. And that's always important in any workplace, but now even more than ever, heightened sense of awareness there. I think one of the biggest things that has changed for us that wasn't necessarily habitual was the door handles, the phones, things like that, like, oh, wow, we're always so great about our food contact surfaces and everywhere where food touches, but what about those door handles? What about those phones that we're using? So now we have checklists and timers going, every 30 minutes. Okay, stop what you're doing. We're disinfecting all phones, all, door handles, things like that. So that's a culture shift for us, getting used to that. Hand washing, that's always important, no matter where you are, what you're doing. But now we're like, once again, setting timers. All right, every 30 minutes, stop what you're doing, wash your hands. I don't care what you're doing. Everybody group hand wash. Everybody go to a sink, just to create that buzz, that reminder. And then the face mask. That's the biggest thing. We're all wearing masks when we're working, and that's it. But we're doing good, Esmond. We're doing well. As best as we can.
Matt, December 18th, right? The Dade County manager is thinking of Dade County returning to some sort of normalcy. How are you preparing for that? How is it? How is today? How is then going to be different from today?
So you're talking about when there might be a lift and then some people are allowed to come in, right?
Right, and we go to phase one. And
phase one, right? So phase one, yep, 25%. Yeah, so 25% occupancy in phase one, and if we get that green light, we're prepared. We've reorganized the entire dining room, right? So we have all the tables spaced out. We've calculated our 25% capacity. We'll be doing checks at the door to make sure that we have the right amount of people. No more than 6 people will be sitting at any particular table, you know. So if there's larger groups, they'll have to split into 2 separate areas. And we are at the time.
Yeah.
But we're prepared. We've got additional sanitation stations set up around the restaurant. That, you know, we're like, people might not be comfortable drinking a soda out of a regular glass and they want it in a plastic cup. No problem. We have those ready. We're trying to think of every possible thing we can ahead of time that somebody might feel better about or comfortable with, so that we can accommodate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I know that there's some of the restaurants in Broward, for example, are saying we can't make it on 25. We have to do 50. And I know the restaurant business is really concerned with turns and how many turns you can have per night to make that profit. Do you see that? I mean, I guess a little is better than nothing, but how do you see us going into that 25% or even 50%?
Yeah, it's tough,
rate?
Esmond. I'm not gonna lie. It's tough. It's going to be tough to balance that bottom line. There's no question about it. I think though that in times like this, you really find out what people are made of, because you have 2 choices: either work through it and look to the future and the long run and push whatever that means to get there, or you sit back and doom and gloom and woe is me and you just go away. I refuse to become irrelevant, so I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make it through, and we're going to fight through it, and we'll get through phase 1, we'll get to phase 2, and as long as we are successful at every step and follow the steps that are necessary, we'll get through it. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. I believe that.
Good, of course. And I love your vision on that, because guess what? That's how we are as a government. We're going to fight through this together, and to be at that other side of COVID-19, still here to cater to our residents. I don't know if there are any questions that I have a slew of them, but I wanted to at least open it up to see if there's anyone that's in Zoomland there who have some questions to ask of you, man.
Sure, absolutely.
I have one thing to say, if I could, Mr. Manager.
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay, so I believe we were all lucky enough to have the blooming onion recipe put on for everybody to get the recipe. and for that alone, I thank Outback for that alone. I mean, we walk there from Eastern Shores, but
yeah,
I can only tell you to have that recipe. There's a few restaurants giving out their key ingredients for their key signature, and Outback was one. So thank you, and thank you for what you do for North Iron Beach.
You didn't
so
share,
welcome.
Commissioner.
We appreciate you so much, all of you.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to know about, and I know Ketley, you have a question, so go ahead before I ask my question. Ketley?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Matt, thank you for coming.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Ketley. I'm a resident in the city of North Miami Beach. Well, Phyllis just talked about the blooming onion. I wanted to ask, will this still be in the menu? And my second question is that in order for some of the companies to make it these days, some of the restaurants may have to raise their prices. Is that something your company is thinking about doing?
That's an excellent question. You know, and I'm going to be honest with you. I do not know the answer to that right now, because I'm not necessarily privy to that. As far as I know, there is no talk of that. There's no intention of that. We're all taking this day by day, week by week. The bloomin' onion absolutely will be on the menu. We're still serving it takeout and delivery now. We are operating on a limited menu right now. So our full menu that we had before pre-COVID is not available, but we're working to get more items back on the menu as we start to see more traffic and things. But, you know, I think the key to this was to reduce the menu down to the things that we do best so that we can really make sure those things are the best and not be distracted by too many other items on the menu. But bloomin' onion's here to stay forever and ever and ever. And I have heard nothing of raising the price. And in fact, Outback is one of the companies that is always behind the price raising industry-wide. You know, cost of goods, things raised constantly. We're always about 6 to 9 months behind the average of all of the other national chains raising their prices. So we're always behind that. And we do that on purpose because we really want to stay as competitive as possible. Even when cost of goods do rise, we don't just immediately go and raise our prices. We take the temporary hit because we want to keep providing those great items to people as long as possible. So that's the best answer I have.
I think Fortuna, Commissioner Smuggler.
Yes. Hi.
Hi, Fortuna.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Uh-oh.
I remember going to Tampa back, must have been like the late 80s, and my cousins who are from Tampa, they're like, oh, we got to take you to this restaurant. It's called Outback's. And I'm like, no, I want to go to Burns. And they're like, no, but Outback's is really good. And lo and behold, and I believe Outback's originated in Tampa.
It did.
So, yeah, so they were taking me to probably the first Outback's there was. And not too long afterwards, you guys opened up down here. I think this location in North Miami Beach is one of the first in South Florida.
Yeah. 1991.
Yeah, I've been going since then, since before I lived in North Miami Beach. But I just want to say I'm a big fan of the spotted dog. That's my favorite thing. Off of the kids menu, you're not going to take that off, right?
No, we're not doing the ice cream right now, but as soon as we do, yes, absolutely. Fortuna, we got your spotted dog sundae. Don't worry.
I've been missing it. So.
After all that, how could you say no, right, Matt?
Right.
Of course, I will make it happen no matter what I got to do.
Thank you. All right, have a good day, and thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you.
And for all that you do.
No worries.
Esmond, I'd like to add something, please, while Mr. Gentry's on the line and everybody else. Last Thanksgiving, we had a family of 8 that couldn't take one of our turkeys because they lived in their car. And so the principal asked, could I find somebody that would cook the meals and we could pick them up and deliver them to their car, or they would pick them up. It didn't happen, but when I called Mr. Gentry, you know what he said? Are you sure it's only 8? Would they like steak, or we don't make turkey, but we could make a chicken dinner, we could make them whatever they want. And for that, I never forgot that you didn't even hesitate. And the city doesn't become a good city without partners like you. So that I wanted to mention to everybody that's listening, and to thank you again.
You know, Commissioner Smith, I'm so happy that you reminded us all about that, because that was a real moving touch and go story, and that you were able to reach out to Matt and he was willing to do that. I had forgotten about that, honestly. So thank you for reminding us about that. Matt, I've been asked, what is the secret recipe for the Outback Steakhouse bread?
You know what, Esmond, I can't tell you. You know it's a secret. Listen, Matt. No, we can't. I'm not going to give recipes. I'll tell you. I need you all to come here.
Listen, this is the way I do it. When somebody asks me that, I say, evap milk. And if it doesn't come out good, then it's on them.
You must have done something wrong. Yeah, right.
Of course.
You know what? I'll tell you one. I can't tell you too much, but I will tell you one thing that most people don't realize. It is actually a type of honey wheat bread. Most people think it's something different. It's actually honey wheat, which is why it's so sweet. you know, and it's been the favorite since the very beginning, you know, between the bread, the bloomin' onion, the chocolate thunder, and the steak. It's just, yeah, you can't, once you have it, you know, you crave those flavors.
For a guy who has celiac and doesn't deal with wheat, and has to eat gluten-free, means nothing to me, my friend. Means nothing to me. But I love to see people delight in eating food because I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
What's the biggest lesson, Matt, that you've learned in this time period? What's the biggest lesson?
Well, I don't know if it is necessarily the biggest lesson I've learned, but the biggest thing that has been reaffirmed to me during this has been that people are first, always. You have to put people first. If you are not doing that in everything you do, you will not be successful in any area of your life for any kind of a long period of time. And that's just the reality. People have to matter before everything else, whether that's family, neighbors, community, the people that work for you, your boss, the people that work under you, next to you, coworkers. Everyone is important and is critical, and they must come first. And when you're taking care of people, you know, I always say my people. And when I say my people, I mean my team, I mean my community, and I mean my customers. I mean all three. When I say my people, it's not us and them, it's we. And everyone is my people, and that has to come first in everything you do. And this whole COVID-19 has just reaffirmed how critical that is. And so I know that it was always the right thing, now more than ever.
Great. I mean, with that kind of philosophy, the future for Outback continues to be bright. And we want to recognize that. I was just thinking, you know, but I'll speak with you offline because I get these crazy ideas that I've got to come up with. And
no worries.
I was thinking that probably Outback and I could partner with North Miami Beach in terms of the census efforts. Like, but we can speak a little further on that.
Sure.
Because
we can talk.
Right, we're in a large census push here in North Miami Beach because we're right on the cusp of being an entitlement city, and we're really pushing that because we need to be there. We're just right there. We just need a few more thousands just to report that, hey, we're here, because they are here.
Right, yes.
And to be counted. So
I think, I think it's people don't understand how critical responding to the census is. You know, you just get that thing in the mail and it's just like, oh, junk mail. But that's how things are allocated, you know, and that's how you get the right people, the right funds, the right programs in the places where they're needed. So it is critical. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and sometimes we get so busy. For example, I didn't do the one for my household, but my daughter just sent me a screenshot and said, it's done. You don't have to worry about that. The census is done. So it's a responsibility of all of us there. And I know that each day we have a census number, and I'm waiting on Adana to give me that number for today. We're up to, okay. Yes, you're correct. As of today, we're at 50.5. So we're moving in the 50s, and we're saying that we want to be in the 90s. So we're pulling all of the stops out to make this happen. In the few minutes that we have left, I just wanted to ask you, will restaurants need to rely on like community partners to stay in business?
I don't know necessarily the answer to that. As we all know, you know, the future is uncertain, but we're always going to need community partners. Now, then, before, after, you know, we're all part of one community, you know. So without partnering with each other on as many things as possible, you know, it will be difficult. But I mean, I think that the restaurants out there that, like I said, put people first and make that their top priority, they're going to get through it. They're going to get through it. And you know, what our needs are going to be in the future, we can't necessarily predict. We don't know how next week's going to go or a month from now. Our heads are on a swivel. We are staying nimble and moving with whatever needs to happen, you know, and we're following all of our guidance and recommendations from our state and local government, CDC, through, you know, our company is monitoring this very closely, and as needs arise, we change position, you know, and so it's hard to predict. Nobody has a model for this, you know, nobody has a business model or a projection. So our attitude is, we're going to get through it. Whatever that takes, we're going to figure it out. And when we get more, as information comes in, we make strategies, we make plans, and we move forward with it.
And as a management team, I'll tell you, Matt, that's exactly what we're doing here with the city, with the guidance of our mayor and commission, trying just to go through all of this. So I really want to thank you for being on this Zoom call with us. I know we have a limited amount of time left. I think we're down to a minute. In this minute, I'll just ask, because it's happening now as we speak, just to remember the life of someone who was very dear to our community, Rabbi Ben Singer. And the services are being held now. I just ask that everyone has his wife Miriam and son in your thoughts and prayers, and the entire family, because North Miami Beach has lost someone who meant a lot to this community and did a lot for our police department in terms of some grief counseling. So we'll miss him. So that's it. In the next minute that we have left, I just want to thank you for being on the Zoom call. Tomorrow we have another exciting Zoom. So Matt, if you're not doing anything, you can join us on that. So you get a little bit
I
more
will. If I have, yes,
Zoom.
I'd love to dial in. Yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be talking to our NMB Police Department Marine Patrol. And they're going to be talking about what it is that they do on the weekends, in the weekdays, and in just patrolling throughout our waterways, and the agreement that they have with with Aventura, with Sonials, and just to keep us safe, because a lot happens on the water. People have been home. Ramps are now open. Marinas are open. People are going out there. How does your North Miami Beach Police Department operate in this environment? And we'll be discussing that tomorrow, beginning at 12:30. So thank you, everyone. Matt, thank you so much again for coming on. We enjoyed the discussion with you, and keep on doing what you're doing. Yes, you're correct. It's about people. People are first. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Be safe. Be safe.
Be safe.
Happy birthday, Fortuna.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, happy birthday, Fortuna.
Happy
Don't
birthday.
Okay, Matt, I'll come for my blooming onion soon.
Sounds good. Can't wait to see you. Bye, everyone.
Good job.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.